I just got back from Chicago. I imagine you've been in like 10 places over the weekend already with your schedule.
I actually have been able to stay here for over a week, which is huge. I know.
Wow,
Maybe it hasn't been a week.
impressive.
It's probably been less than a
Like
week.
4 days, maybe.
Yeah, probably. And then I'm leaving in 2 days. So
Where are you headed next?
Miami and
Ooh.
then back here and then East Coast and then crazy September fashion month is going to be like,
Oh, that's right.
I know. And then I'm filming a movie in Jamaica in between fashion week. So it's going to be everywhere.
I love it. Okay, so when you go to Jamaica, I just went in January. You got to go to Sandals on the South Coast. They have the overwater bungalows.
Is it amazing?
It's beyond amazing. It's absolute heaven. You will never want to leave the room. Like my best friend and I went on a friend's moon because Kevin couldn't go on the honeymoon because our
Oh,
dogs were sick.
oh,
So it's like, I'm going on a friend's moon. So we literally, because your room is right on the water, we stayed in the room. We would like go out and paddle around and like, say hello to people in the water and then just come back to the room, play cards, sit in the
no way.
sun.
I've heard of this resort. I'm so happy that you say it's
Yeah.
good. I have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll connect you with them. It's amazing. It's the
That's
best.
amazing. How many dogs do you have though, by the way?
Well, we used to have five, sometimes six, but we had five of our own. Usually we would end up fostering some stray that we would find along the way. So sometimes it would tip the scales at six or seven. Right now we only have three. So of the original five, Benjamin is the last remaining guy. He turns
Oh,
18 in October. I'm throwing him an 18th
wow.
birthday party.
Oh my gosh. What's it gonna be? What are you gonna do?
Oh, well, I threw Baby, my other Bichon, who was my first dog ever. Benji was my second. I threw her a sweet 16 because she almost died. Every vet said that we had to put her to sleep, and she had a miraculous turnaround. And so we threw her a sweet 16 party.
Oh
We had 60 dogs on the tennis court. I had like obstacle courses and pools and kissing booths, and everything was
my
dog shaped. All the
gosh.
food, all the desserts were paw prints or dog bones, or like we even had poop chocolate.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Those dogs have lived for a long time.
Yeah.
You guys are such good
We love
parents.
them. This morning,
Oh,
Benjamin like crawled over. He's blind and deaf, crawled over and like laid on my chest. And then Winnie was like laying on my shoulder. And I was like, I'm
oh,
so lucky. And then Max this morning just, grabbed my bra and ran for it. I'm like, get over here, you! My big shepherd.
oh my gosh, he's huge.
Yeah, he's
I
he's a
saw him
big
in the
boy.
window.
So this
Scary.
morning he was going crazy in the window. I thought maybe you had gotten here. And then I got up close to the window for the first time in a long time, and he's destroyed my windowsills. All of my windows and the windowsills, like the borders and the windows, are
Yeah,
scraped to pieces because he wants to annihilate anybody who comes on the
I did
property.
notice that. I thought he wanted to play. Oh, he's
Oh
so beautiful,
man.
though. I love German
Yeah,
Shepherds.
he's my everything.
Gorgeous.
He's literally my part joker and part protector. So, and I was
And they're so loyal. They're my favorite type of dog.
really, oh,
German
you'll have to
Shepherds.
meet him.
I know.
Well, do you have dogs, or you probably can't right
I
now?
can't right now, but I
Yeah.
always grew up with dogs. I always grew up with German Shepherds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a
And
special.
they are scary. If you don't know them, they appear scary, but they are so loyal. They're so smart too, and then they're cuddly. They just, appear to be scarier than they are in real life.
Yeah, no, he will eat you if he do. He needs like a full, proper introduction to people. I can't just like let him out. He will want to eat you.
He doesn't bite though, right? Or he does. No comment. No comment. Don't answer. Do not answer.
Just remember the prior statement. He will eat you if I just let him out. Like just to make sure everything was safe, we had to like lock the back doors because he knows how to open doors too.
They're so smart.
God forbid anybody ever shows up to the property like trying to rob. They're gonna be like super surprised if Max just opens the door and goes
Well, they heard it here first. Don't try.
Yeah,
No
don't
one try.
try. But yeah, so I just got back from Chicago. I don't know. Do you get to Chicago often?
I do for Garrett's popcorn. It's so
Oh my
good.
God.
I haven't
You
been
know
there
what?
in a little bit though.
I handled myself. I did not get Garrett's this time. I went to Lou's and I got pizza,
Yum.
which was amazing. And then I wake up this morning on Twitter and it was like 60 people were murdered in Chicago just this weekend.
That's
Like crime has gotten so crazy there. And
wow.
11 of them have I think it was 11 of them have officially died. The other ones are in critical condition. I'm like,
Awful.
it was such a beautiful city and we had so much fun there.
What were you doing?
We went, I'm an ambassador for Rally Health, Rally's like a digital platform that provides tools for people to simplify their healthcare. So if you have Aetna or Blue Cross or United Healthcare or whatever, and your company's super nice, they buy Rally, which is an additive program that just like makes everything easy, and they incentivize you to like, get your screenings done. So they'll pay you to get your mammogram. They'll say, here's a $500 voucher, go get your mammogram. Or here's a $1,000 voucher, Nick, go get your prostate checked. And
Wow.
yeah, you want to get paid for that shit?
Well, I mean, if it's happening, yeah, then sure.
So we were there, and it was funny. You'll appreciate this. My friend and my hair and makeup artist, Dimitri, I'm like his Barbie doll. So he went to town, and we were having so much fun. And all of a sudden I see him laying out all of his stuff for the next morning, and he had all this hair, all different colors, all different lengths. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, my love, I have so much hair for you. And I go, Dimitri, we're going to do a workout in the park tomorrow. What are you thinking? You're going to make me into like a pop star or something?
Oh my gosh, I think I've worked with him before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's so great with extensions.
He's the best at everything, Olivia. He's the best. Do you know how many pop stars ask for him to take pictures so they can use it as their album covers?
No way.
He's so good with lighting and photography and hair and makeup. And most people, can't do both hair and makeup.
Yeah, no, I know.
No. He is the best.
So he does your makeup and your hair?
Yes.
That's so
and my color
convenient.
and my cuts and everything. Like he does everything amazing.
That's so convenient.
Yeah, he's a true genius.
2 in 1.
So we're in Chicago. He pulls out all this hair. And so the next morning I'm getting ready, and all of a sudden he's doing this ombre look, and he's got these long blonde hair extensions. And I just know I have to trust. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, wait, am I like J-Lo right now? I'm going to perform at a concert or something? And so he started with, this like half up thing. Then he did half space buns. Then he did this crazy ponytail.
All just you were sitting there.
Yeah. No, he at every different spot, because we had different interviews in the morning. So like
my
at one
gosh.
morning news show, I was like a Spice Girl. And then the next one.
Oh my gosh. Where does he do all
we
these
had so
changes?
much
Like in
fun.
the car?
Yeah, in the car, at the, wherever we are.
You have to document that.
We did. We had a lot of fun.
Because like you get into the car with one look, get out with the other look. I mean, that's the best.
Yeah, yeah. He was. We had a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. On the plane home, I'm filling in for Kelly Ripa next week on Live with Kelly and Ryan,
That's awesome.
and I had to watch this movie called Like Father. Have you heard of this movie? It's going to be coming out soon with Kelsey Grammer and Kristen Bell. And there was such a great message in this movie. So basically, she's this like super type A, crazy, overworking woman who, as she's getting married, is like giving orders on her phone outside. They're all waiting for her. They think she's like ditched the wedding. And so the husband like freaks out and, basically says, no, thank you. So,
No way. At the wedding?
yeah. So the moral of the story is, and then she finds herself on her honeymoon with her dad, and she can't get unglued from her phone. It was such a cool like movie. I love when movies have real messages behind them that you can like take into your life, because I feel like we've all gotten so crazy on our phones.
Crazy.
And I wonder with you, do you feel like you're addicted to your phone, or do you feel like you have a healthy relationship with your phone?
I make a conscious effort to have a healthy relationship. On Saturday, I actually had a no phone day, which was so exciting for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I tried to spend the whole day without my phone, and then I got so nervous that I had forgot to follow up with someone or call someone back. Well, it was actually, specifically, it was my boyfriend. So I felt like I forgot to call him.
Oops.
So
Sorry,
I
honey.
borrowed the bartender's phone because I was like, I just need to make sure that like he knows that I didn't die.
Wait, but then he's gonna have Danny
Yeah.
Amendola's phone number?
She's fine. She didn't know. I know. No, it's really funny. But
Yeah, she didn't know who you were, and she doesn't know who you're dating.
I know he actually did. He did mention that. He's like, I would have just rather you maybe not call me. But it's just, it's hard. Like
Yeah.
we're all. I think that it's a level of pressure that we put on ourselves, but I think that we're all so acclimated to having access to everyone 24/7 that when you drop the ball, other people might get mad at you because they're on their phone. Like
Yep.
it's kind of like you can't really just tap out because you could offend someone or you could get fired or like there's a million different reasons why we struggle with that addiction, but it definitely is something that I would love to see the next generation kind of fix because it
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, why do we always have to wake up every morning and, already have knots in our stomach, like looking at everything?
Be a
What did I
slave to
miss?
it.
Exactly.
Well, that's why last New Year's, I made a resolution that I was not going to use my phone on Sundays. And I was really, really good at it. And it was so freeing to just leave it on my nightstand and go have my day.
Yes.
And
Good for
so
you.
that's tip number one. Tip number two, I created an outgoing email message that goes to everyone. Like if you email me right now, it basically says I'm not responding to you.
I did see that. Well, I actually read that. And of course, I didn't. I just thought I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you do have, I mean, you have so many ways that people can get in touch with you and get what they want even more efficiently because of, everybody in your life has a role.
Yep.
And you're only one person. But it is it's difficult to make those boundaries in your life. So good for you.
Yeah, it's creating healthy boundaries. And the other thing is like Instagram. Everyone's so obsessed. I watch people the second there's like silence or the second someone looks down, it's like people grab their phone and it's like now
Yeah.
we're on Instagram and there's such an obsession with it. And I remember after surgery, I wanted to kill my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I don't want to do any social media anymore. But I can't because it's part of my business. Like there's no
Totally.
way around it. And then for everyone else, they want it to be their business.
I know.
So it's really hard.
It is really hard. I feel like I go through phases. Like right now, I haven't been posting that much because I haven't been inspired. And I think that when you go through those like you did, you just have to listen to yourself and you have to respect the fact that you're not interested in doing it and give yourself the space that you need and allow yourself to be human. That's one of my mantras. Give yourself permission to be human. You don't feel like doing it, just don't do it. And if you do, then do it. But if it's not fun, then don't do it.
So here's my question. For you, your life and your business is Instagram, right? Like Instagram's such a big part of you promoting your clothing line and everything that you're doing. So for you, isn't it necessary to post constantly?
It can be.
Right?
But
I thought like you
yeah.
have to be a slave to it. So for you to say that, I'm kind of shocked. I want to know more.
I know. I shock myself sometimes when I say that too, but it's just the idea that I just think that when things are fun, they're easy. And when it's not fun, then it's not easy. And for whatever reason, taking these breaks allows me to gain inspiration again and make it fun. And I do also think like there are a lot of people out there that absolutely hate Instagram. Like a lot of my siblings just absolutely hate social media, and I can see why they would never be able to have my job. I actually do love it, but I do have the moments where I think to myself like this is becoming too much pressure. This is
Yeah.
becoming unfun. This is not being authentic. Seems so frivolous, or it can make you feel bad when
Yeah.
there's so many other things going on in the world. And I just think you have to allow yourself to feel those things. And the only way to not like build resentment and like totally make it fail completely is like for me, just taking those breaks and making it normal. I think that breaks with social media, just like going on vacation, like those things should be normal. And I feel like in this culture, it's just not.
Yeah. Yeah, it really isn't. So speaking of vacation, that's always an issue, right? You're on vacation, there's so many cool pictures to take, right? As a human, just like a regular human, you're like, oh my gosh, when we're on vacation, that's when we take the most pictures. Now
I
in the
know.
Instagram age, it's like, whoa, we have to like really set these up. And it's like, this is so pretty. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then your whole vacation's Instagram. So I've set up my new foundation and my new boundaries is like the first day, that first hour when there's so much excitement, nail a few pictures that you love and then put it away.
I think that's a good idea. You want to know why else? Because
What?
you're probably going to get drunk. You're probably going to feel hungover the next day.
Yeah.
It's like you're probably going to look the most fresh on the first day.
Yeah.
Although your
done.
tan might be better toward the end.
I know that's the part. That is one problem, but at the end of the day, you got to give it up. I have a no phone rule on vacation. So
Good
my
for
best friend
you.
and I go on vacation a lot, and because Kevin's not a big vacationer, and so my no phone rule is that we can check in at home at night, like when we're in bed, and it's like one quick call or whatever. But otherwise, it's like no phone during the day.
And how do you feel at the end of your
It's
vacation?
the best. It's also
Yeah.
like I get to look at my friend and talk to her. We're not
Right.
just all on our phones. To me, the phone thing is so. Ugh.
And that's coming from somebody that has so much going on. I mean, you're constantly connected to people. I'm sure you're constantly being pitched things or pitching other things. And for you to be able to have that type of distance is such a blessing. Seriously.
I forced it, Olivia. I forced it. I am so like holding on so tight to it. I even got rid of it at one point. I got one of these little phones like you can only dial from and call and receive calls, no text, no nothing. But it wasn't really dependable with the cell towers yet. So now they're going to do a 3G version. When they do the 3G version, I'm in.
Wow.
Yeah. And then what I would do is I would keep this phone with me in my car for like the once a day check in on my, stuff. Otherwise,
Good for you.
that's the best.
I think that will help with your career in the long run because you won't burn out.
Yeah.
I think that you won't also go crazy and you won't destroy what's so special about you, which is what's grounding
Yeah.
about you. Like that's why you're so successful anyway. And I think that as we continue in this digital age, a lot of people I fear that with myself too, that you could lose what makes you human.
Yes.
Because you're just always on the phone or you're always like comparing your life to someone's highlight reel or you're never enough.
Yes.
You're never doing enough.
So true. I say this all the time. I do speaking tours. And I'm like, we've gone from being human beings to human doings.
Totally.
And I don't want to be a human doing anymore. I was a human doing for a long time. I'm older than you and I went through it and it's too much. And that's why I was very thankful for what happened last summer because I was like, this is my chance to change everything. And I'm such a happier person. I didn't know I could be this happy.
That's so nice. Wow.
So
Yeah, well, I hope that everyone listening takes a little bit from this because we should be human beings, not human doings.
yeah. And on that note, Olivia Culpo, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be chatting all about Olivia's career. We're going to chat about her fashion, designing, modeling, acting, mod squad, model squad. Nick, all of this and more.
Woo!
And
Can't
any
wait.
of your burning questions, Nick, too.
Oh,
Where did you get those hot red boots on Instagram? Damn, they're hot.
Maria, it's like you read my mind.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with more from Olivia Culpo. Guys, my guest today is an actress, model, clothing designer, and influencer, also former Miss Universe. She shares fashion, beauty, and lifestyle tips on her website and has built a social media empire. She's starring in E's upcoming docuseries Model Squad and alongside Bruce Willis in the action film Reprisal. Reprisal. It's always a question. I've had that battle before. Reprisal or reprisal, but whatever it is, please welcome Olivia Culpo! I had that battle on set of Entertainment Tonight when I first started in this business, and it was with Mary Hart and Bob Goen, and they were talking about how you can say reprise or reprise.
Wow.
And I never knew that, and they're really smart, so I trusted them. Hopefully they were right.
You know who we can ask? We can ask our friend Randall Emmett because he's the producer on that. And he's both of our friends.
Well, listen, his level of intelligence I would question.
That's true. Maybe you're right.
I love you, Randall. I'm kidding. But yeah, so you're now getting into some action film and stuff. That's crazy. Tell
It's
me.
been so fun. I love everything that I do, but the acting for me takes me out of reality. It's similar to what we were just saying with the phone and the digital age and everything being so, everybody just can contact you so easily through social media and even just the campaigns these days. Everything is social and everybody wants to get a piece of you. But for acting, it's similar to when I'm playing the cello or doing anything in the arts. It just takes me out of reality. And also I'm able to be on set and nobody can bother me for like up to a month.
That's
amazing.
the fun part, right? Like anytime I've done an acting role, because it's not my number one job, like my number one job was always interviewing or hosting, I wanted to put extra time and focus because I had to be really good. So I shut everything down and I would do nothing but have fun with the cast and focus on my role and my acting. And it was the best time of my life, whatever I did, whether it was Fantastic Four or One Tree Hill, whatever I did, I loved it.
That is so true. I mean, and you've done so much in every space too. I mean, You have so many film credits. You really
Done a few
do.
things, a few things.
You really have. But I completely agree. It just gives you every excuse to not talk to anyone.
So now, did you work with an acting coach?
I've worked with so many acting coaches. I don't know if you've worked with any out here, but Warner Laughlin, Nancy Banks. Um, I've worked with Ivana Chubbuck. I've gone from studio to studio. And I've found recently my favorite is Warner Laughlin. I don't know if you're familiar with her style of teaching, but yeah, I always try to work with a coach. And when I was younger and had more time, I was just always going to class. So I feel like I can always brush up on those skills when I need to. And then for specific roles, I haven't felt like I've really needed, well, I always do one-on-one, but I haven't had the time to go back into class really for
Yeah.
an extended amount of time, which sort of kind of sucks in a way, but
Yeah. Are you thinking like this might be a shift more towards a full-time situation and then you'd have to give up some of the other stuff?
I've already had to give up things for the roles that I've taken, and I have to wait and see down the line if anything conflicts majorly. But at this point, I've been able to just kind of do it all, which I'm very, very thankful for. But it's definitely going to be difficult. Like the film that I'm doing at the end of this month will be in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be going from New York Fashion Week to Jamaica to Paris to Milan. And then I live in LA, and then it's everywhere.
So how are you going to actually prep for that movie? Because your schedule is so demanding at Fashion Week and everything that you're doing for the campaigns you're a part of. How do you do it?
I try to take the time that I can at night when I'm in bed, usually reading over the script, taking notes. But even tomorrow, I have another audition. So I'm prepping for auditions. Plus, I have this role that I'm doing in Jamaica. Plus, I have all of the fashion stuff, plus the social media, plus keeping up with personal life. I mean, it's a lot. It's definitely something that I'm passionate about. And like I was saying before, if something's fun, then it's easy. If it's not fun, then it's not easy. So luckily, I love everything that I'm doing. Of course, we all have our days where we're tired for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
And those are the days you just have to be patient with yourself and give yourself the break that you need. But for me, I feel like I feel so fortunate because everything that I do for work really does pull me. I never really feel like I'm like dragging my feet. And I think that for a lot of people especially my age that maybe don't like what they're doing, they're depressed over their job or things don't feel easy or exciting. It's because they might be doing the wrong thing. That's what I feel I see a lot from people my age, and it is really difficult. But that's what your 20s are about, or even 30s. Everything. It's just about figuring out what works for you and what is fun. And if it's not fun, then just don't do it.
Well, it's also, I found along my journey, if you don't have the right support as well. When you don't have the right support, and I mean, that can just completely throw you for a loop too, because now behind the scenes, it's such a mess and such a disaster and so difficult that you can't be good in front of the scenes for what you need to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I know you're so close with your family. Like I bet that, and everybody in your life is so supportive of you. I think that's such a good point. You have to surround yourself with people who will build you up, not bring you down. And it's tough.
And that extends to the people that you're going to work with, right? Like your agents and your assistants and your entire team. Like for you, do you have a lot of people helping you with your social media?
Oh my gosh, it's funny you mentioned that because my assistant actually just left me. We were just talking about that. She left me because she's doing, she's on to bigger and better. Who knows? But I know it's so hard.
I know.
Even just having somebody to remind you to do things on social or plug certain things or create awesome content ideas. It's so important to have a soundboard or somebody who you can just bounce ideas off of. So that's huge. But I have the best team ever. I don't have an assistant right now, but luckily I have amazing agents, amazing manager who's in the other room, probably listening with her ear up against the door.
What was her name?
Nikki.
You say Nikki.
Yeah. And I have the best team that I could ever ask for. It's just definitely getting the help assistant wise, which you told me you have a manual, so
I
I'm going
do.
to take that.
I'm going to share the manual with you as I've suffered through. And,
I
you know,
know.
because the hard thing is, and especially, you know, in what we do, people just want to go to the fun stuff. And then there are the people that just want all the glam and the fun of it. And then there are the people who just need a quick job because they're desperate for money and they take the job and they had no intention of staying. So I've had both of those
no.
situations. So like I've used a temp agency before and I'm like, okay, I'm going to, you know, go the official route. And I've suffered, I've tried everything.
Oh no.
And then you realize that they were just taking it because they needed to make rent.
Oh no, I
And you're like,
never thought of
"What?"
it like that, but I guess you're right. The people who maybe go
Yeah.
to those agencies are just so desperate for anything.
Yeah. And then for you, okay, so now I want to be Olivia Culpo's assistant because maybe I'll get free shit and maybe she'll put me on her Instagram and maybe I'll become a star because I'm her assistant and that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do the work.
I mean, they can get the free stuff, just do the work.
Yeah. That's the thing I say to people
Yeah.
all the time. Like, you put the time in, you put the work in, you'll get everything you want and more.
I
But
know.
they don't, yeah. Don't
They have a fantasy about it. I don't think that people really know how ugly it is behind the scenes and
Yeah.
how hard we work because it's not pretty all the time and it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy. And there's jet lag and there's things that go missing and there's the stupidest things turn into like the biggest. I mean, like, you know, you forget an article of clothing for like the biggest red carpet ever that you think of the moment and it's like, oh my God, it's a disaster. And of course, some things are just honestly not big issues in the real world. But you know what it's like when you're trying to run a business and it's like your baby and you don't have people taking it seriously and working with the dedication that you have. It's just kind of so frustrating.
Well, that's why I love Adam Carolla because he has a T-shirt and he writes on it, "Don't do your best, do my best."
Oh my God, I love that. I know. See, that's the other problem with me, though. I feel like I lack that type of assertiveness at times. And then I want to be friends with the people that I work with, but like I've realized that it's not the best way to motivate a team. So
It's
I'm sure
tricky.
you're good at that. Like how do you do this?
I've got, you know, many years on you, and I've gone through every iteration of it. I have always made everyone who works around me family because we're working together so much more than I am even around my own family. So to me, there's no other way. Like, we're all in it together and it's a unique business. And so I do still believe in that, but there has to be some boundaries and just some boundaries so that they can remain respectful and not have familiarity breed contempt, right? Because a lot of times people want to be you as well, and then they hate you for not being you, and then there's like all this weird energy that just comes from it too. Like, it's, you know, a lot of times they'll come in wanting this job because they want to learn from you, and that's great, but then don't hate me for it either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
It's tough.
You've got to find a real special person that wants to grow and learn from you. And I think it's also important that they don't think that this is perhaps I think that they want to grow. They need to want to grow with you, whether that means grow your business or move on to their own business. But as long as they're always trying to grow, I think they'll help you.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I mean, I'm alone right now and I have nobody. And
I don't have an assistant. I haven't had one since December, and I've been the happiest I've ever been.
But
doing
who's
it
helping
myself.
you with your life?
So, I first of all, my agents and my team, I just have them send me Google invites for things. The biggest part of it is, where am I going?
Yeah.
And who am I meeting? And what time do I need to be there? So all of that just automatically goes in my calendar from them.
Okay, that's great. But what about, let me
Okay.
just tell you what's going on with me. My
Okay.
refrigerator is broken. I forgot to get my West Elm delivery.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing's fitting anywhere. I'm trying to sell things on the Real. I need to
Mm-hmm.
give away a ton of stuff. I have like 4 suitcases that need to go to Goodwill. Okay, what do I do?
Okay.
Well, there's not enough hours in the day.
So those companies will actually come pick up your stuff. So do you have a doorman? Do you live in a house? What do
Yeah,
you do?
I have a doorman.
So you
and all
can
this
leave it with your doorman and have them pick it up.
That's
and then
true.
they come and pick it
But
up.
then, like, what? You never know. What if somebody's? You're right. Okay, there are ways to work around it, but like,
There is.
how do you sort your personal stuff?
So then the other thing I did was I had my housekeeper twice a week. And when I got rid of the assistant, I said, you know what? The only person in my life, there are two people. I went through a period of time where I'm like, I hate everybody whose name is not Violetta and Javier. And Kevin would laugh at me because I was just suffering. Because what happens is sometimes you bring in these people to make your life easier. And because they're so green or because they don't care, whatever the circumstance is, they make your life harder. So now I just have a middleman coming to me, asking me the same things that I would have just read myself and answered easily. And so now I took my housekeeper, I gave her 5 days a week. So then everything in the house is handled at all times. I never have to worry. If there's a plumbing issue, she handles it. She calls the plumber. I have a black book with everyone's information. She can call and get everything fixed.
Smart.
And then it's done.
Do you ever want to be alone though? Like you just not maybe want her there all the time? Sorry if she's listening.
I love her. She's like my second mom. She's like my second mom. If I'm sick, she helps and takes care of me. Like she's the best.
That's perfect.
I love her. And Javier's our vet tech who's been here. He was supposed to be here for maybe a month. He's been here for 2.5 years because my dog needed, fluids. And then, yeah. So anyway, I kind of have parsed out the bigger ticket items that were needed. So now if I need a messenger to go do some things, I can send a messenger. And honestly, I've really tried to keep my life as simple as possible as of the last, year. Obviously, most of that was recovery time. And there might be a moment where I need to bring in somebody, but they're not going to be doing the stuff they were doing before, where I was trying to have them do everything and they couldn't do it all right. I'm going to continue to have people send me Google invites. Thank you, Google.
Yeah.
And that will never get screwed up because those agents' assistants are too good and they're trained too well. The better trained than I could ever train someone. So then it's a little easier. And then I hire by the day. Like if I need somebody, you can have virtual assistants that can do stuff for you online.
Like,
yeah,
what?
we'll have a whole session. I'll teach you all my other little trade
Oh my
secrets.
gosh, yeah. So much. I'm learning so much.
Well, like I said, I've done this for a while and I've had to research so many different solutions. So, but I want to get to more of your stuff. I'll give you tips and secrets on the side. So you
Perfect.
also have this movie with Bruce Willis that you just did. And it's going to be coming out in theaters Friday, August 31st. Reprisal. Which one do you want to call it?
Reprisal. I've been calling it reprisal, but I like your spin on it. It's cool.
Okay, so Reprisal. So tell me about your role in that. You're playing opposite Bruce Willis.
Opposite Bruce Willis, I am a wife who my husband works at a bank. The bank is held up by robbery. Tons of people in the bank are killed. My neighbor happens to be Bruce Willis. My husband confides in Bruce Willis to take down the robber. And then I end up being held hostage while Bruce Willis and my husband, Frank Grillo, are trying to find and kill the murderer.
Damsel in distress.
Yes, exactly, with my daughter.
Ooh.
We are the
Have you
damsels.
seen it yet?
I have.
What did you think?
I saw it with my mom, and she was so squeamish. She hates when things blow up or guns, any type of violence. Like literally sends her a foot up in her chair. So she was fun to watch it with, and I really enjoyed it. It was just so fun being a part of an action movie. I've never done that before, and it's also the biggest role I've ever had. So it taught me a lot. It was really, really fun, and I love working with our friend Randall. He's the best. So. It was such a great experience.
So how much pressure did you put on yourself for this movie? Because if you're the female lead, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, the thing about, I feel like in my career in general, I have all of these steps, right? I think that for everybody, it's different in their career. I've never really felt like I've bit off too much to chew, basically. Okay. And this was a really comfortable set. I know Frank, I know Randall. The director was everybody on set was so warm and welcoming, and I didn't really feel a tremendous amount of pressure. I felt just so grateful for the experience, and that's how I feel with everything that I do in life. I honestly never put too much pressure on myself. I mean, of course, we all have our moments, but I try to have an attitude of gratitude, and that always takes away the pressure. Instead of thinking about how I might do a bad job or having negative thoughts. I just try to think about how this is something that I dreamed of and how it's something that I have to be in the moment and totally captivated by. Otherwise, I think that you can act poorly, or you figure out you're not really performing your best because you're believing things that aren't true. And I think that takes a level of, I think that for everybody, I mean, it's so much easier said than done. I think I just naturally have a pretty chill attitude too.
Yeah.
Sometimes the people I work with are like, are you even there? Or like, hello? Because I never really, when there's a lot of commotion or things are crazy, I tend to have a calm energy.
That's
So
great.
that helps.
Well, so are you type A or are you not?
I mean, I'm definitely type A. I always have a to-do list. I'm fairly organized. I like things to be done a certain way, and I do put a level of pressure on myself, absolutely. But I just know that from everything that I've ever done, you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. I always just try to prepare, do my absolute best. And in that way, I'm totally type A. But then once I arrive, it's like you can't waste your time thinking about you. So much more than just you. It's about everybody else on set. It's about,
The collective.
yeah, the collective. And I think it's also important. Doing a good job is also like kind of getting over yourself and just doing the work, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to see you on the big screen.
Thanks.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Olivia Culpo. Guys, we are back with Olivia Culpo, and time is running out. We're having such a great chat. I want to get to the Instagram influencer stuff because I know a lot of people want to be in this business. And you have done it so well. And I feel like you've knocked a few people off their perch because you were like the new hot girl in town. And I was like, oh, now we're watching her. I love it. And I love,
You're so sweet.
I love that you went into business for yourself because I know there were other roads that you could have taken. And I just know they would have made you miserable. And I know firsthand. And so I'm so happy you're in control of your life because you will be happier and healthier for it. That aside, how difficult was it to build this business and to do what you did? And how did you do it?
I feel like I've started this business since I was 18 years old. I was in college, and I've told you this before, but honestly, if I were to go back in my journals from 5 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago now, you were on my list. Like, this is someone who I wanted to be you. I wanted your career. This is what I wanted your career, which is why I did pageants, which is absolutely insane.
Way!
Well, you didn't know that?
I
Yeah.
don't remember, but I'm sure you've said it. And
It's so funny. I've got to send you a picture of my old journals. I journal to this day every day.
Do you
But
really?
yeah, I
love
have
that.
dozens of journals. I'm like it's the only way that I can organize my thoughts and stay grounded
Wow.
and stay in touch with who I am. But so I would write down all these people whose careers I thought were just so perfect. It was you, like Juliana Rancic. I thought that for sure I wanted to be a host, and who knows? I had all these dreams for myself. So I did the pageants. And I've learned so much from every single stage in my career, but I will tell you that since I was in college, 18 years old, all I wanted to do was reach my potential. All I wanted to do is experience new things, work on my stage presence and work on my skills, my business skills. Like, I always had all of these dreams to do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is the acting, the designing, the modeling. What else am I doing? I forgot. I'm forgetting something.
You're a brand
Designing,
ambassador for so
brand-
many companies. I want all your stuff on Revolve, by the way.
Oh, really? I'm sure they would send it to you.
They're so cute. I love everything.
Oh wait, I'm gonna send it to you. I didn't know you were
Yes.
referring to my line.
Your line,
I'm sending you
yes.
everything, of course. And I actually have a lot of exciting things coming out in the designing space as well. So I'll totally send you
So if
everything.
people want your line, they go to Revolve and then they just...
Yeah, Revolve. Yeah, they go to revolve.com and you can click on Marled by Olivia Culpo, or the link is in my Instagram bio.
Awesome.
So, and actually everything is on sale right now.
Hey now.
So we restocked. Everything's on sale. Cheap. Go get it. But yeah, I feel like I have to say you were one of my absolute role models. Even to be sitting here talking to you, I feel like my 18-year-old self would have just like died.
Oh my
I
God, you're going to make me
know.
cry.
It's
That's
true.
so sweet.
I mean, you have to remember those things. That is absolutely the truth. I would have just
Wow.
flipped out.
I love you. And I do love you because I think you're such a great girl and you're a Patriots fan too, so that helps. We're from the same area.
We really are.
I know. I'm really worried about this season. I'm so nervous.
I know.
Are you nervous? I'm really nervous. I've never
Really
been
nervous.
nervous. I've always been
I've never-
excited.
I've never been this nervous, to be honest with you. I think I'm a little concerned too about my well-being, considering now Danny plays for the Dolphins. People are probably going to hate me. I don't know when I go back there, but who knows?
How are you going to battle being a Patriots fan with now? I mean, it was
I
good
don't
when he
know.
was there, but
It was perfect when he was there. I truly do not know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just wear black and white and be like a ref.
I'm the one who goes to other teams' games, and I make sure I wear my Celtics or my Patriots, whatever, and they're not even playing them. So
Oh my God. I
would
bet
be
that
the
gets you a lot of
boldest
friends.
move. Can you imagine you go to even a Patriots Dolphins game because it's usually the last game of the season,
Because everybody's waiting for it.
right? Because I remember Giselle invited us to Kevin and I went to see that last game of the season. It was with Miami, and imagine you're wearing Patriot stuff.
I mean, I'll get killed.
That would be bold.
That would be so bold. But I'll do it.
I die. I wonder, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? Where do you have like things in mind that you want to accomplish?
I think that there are so many things. Everything that I'm doing, I just want to do better, and that's the kind of the attitude that I've had every step of my career. Of course, there are always going to be new goals and points that I want to reach, but I think that if you can take where you are now and just try to be 10% better all the time, you're going to get there. And I feel like that's where I sit right now, just because I have put a lot of pressure on myself. And I think that just the way you've learned as well, it's not a marathon. It's not a race. I mean, we shouldn't even call it a marathon, but honestly, if you want to have a business that lasts and if you want to make it as an influencer for everybody that's listening, it's like you just have to take those baby steps. And I think that persistence is the key, because a lot of people just give up. And part of the reason why I think they give up is maybe because they're putting too much pressure on themselves, or they're doing things the wrong way, or burning themselves out. So I just want to take where I am now, be 10% better. And I would say that's the advice I would give to everybody trying to make it as well. Just don't give up.
Are you thinking about family and kids? I see you on Instagram with, is it your
Nephew. I know it's tough because he has a boy-girl name.
Yeah,
Remy.
I just saw it on here. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. That's one of the things that I always honestly pray for clarity on, because I know that right now, and I think a lot of women can relate to this, that are ambitious and want to be self-sufficient. It's like, on one hand, you want to build your own stability, but of course, on the other hand, everybody wants a family and to be, to have children and all those things. And of course I want that, but
Yeah.
I also feel like what's really important for me is having that stability and making sure that I'm okay before I ever give myself in that way to somebody else. So I feel like that's the dilemma of the new woman, isn't it?
It really
the
is.
balance.
Yeah, I know.
We can do it all, I think. Maybe.
I don't think we can do it all. I think we can do a lot, and we just have to know that we're not going to do everything perfect, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to be as amazing at everything. And so, if you want to do a lot, like I always wanted to do a lot, just know that you're not going to be like 100% at everything. Something's going to pull a little harder, and you're going to be a little better at something than other things.
Totally.
And that has to be okay.
You're so right. That's where the mantra that I was telling you about before plays in. You have to give yourself permission to be human.
Got to give yourself permission to be human. And my friend, Olivia Culpo, stars in the new docuseries Model Squad that premieres September 4th on E! And of course, she's going to be on the big screen in Reprisal Friday, August 31st with Bruce Willis. Olivia, I can't believe our time is up.
It's up!
We need to do this more.
Absolutely.
You should come officially co-host with me one day.
Absolutely. I would love to. Do I get promoted to that spot?
You get promoted to that spot
I'm
if you come
down.
back.
I'm down.
It's so hard to get you because you're so busy, but I love you. I'm so happy for your success.
I love you too. Thank you.
Congrats on everything. Guys, thanks for joining us. As always, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.